So now we're going to do a player class. The player class here from your practice list. The player has a name and score, set name, get name, set score. Let us say how many points he records. تمام? Good? Fine. So I'm going to make a player class now, very simple class. The new class, we'll call it player. And this player class has a name, private, string name, and private integer score. Okay, let us say score or points score. تمام؟ على طول let's make the source generate. I need a constructor, but usually when you create a player object, maybe you don't know how many points he scored. يعني I'll create a constructor with name. And I need to do setter and getter for everything if you want. Okay. Select all. ماشي. And I'll put toString. Now you know how to make toString quickly, right? Okay. بس خلاص. So player, name, score, score. I mean, this is a quick way of do the player, يعني.
So how did you make it quickly? String?
Just source to string. Best. We did it 10 minutes ago with rectangle. Okay. So here I'm making the output. يعني to look يعني a bit. Okay. Type. Don't worry about this override. You'll understand it tomorrow. So this is our player class. Well, from this player class, you can add a lot. You can create a lot now. We have name and team and score. Now I'll create another class called team. Team. Okay. ماشي. The team has a name. The team has a name. Let us say private string name. This is the team name. And now the team has layers, صح? If the number is fixed, you can use array or you can use array list, right? مظبوط. If the number is fixed, you can use array or array list, depending. Let us say it's a basketball team. How I'm gonna make it? I'm gonna make it a player array.
Fine. Yeah.
I'll call it team players and equals new player array of 5. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Good. And this is fixed. I believe I gave you enough examples on array list. And maybe you can make it ماشي. This is our team. Of course, it's not easy to do this in the constructor to ask it for everything. So I'll just use the name in the constructor. Setter and getter, let me say, since this is an array, I need to, for example, provide خلينا أعملها يا شباب array list ولا خليها array. I'm thinking about if I have another example for arrays. Now, okay, players, best take. And I will just make it simple. We get the source, generate setter and getter only for name. ماشي. Only for name. خلينا نعمل setter and getter for players. Let me do setter and getter for players, which is an array of 5 players. Let me make a toString يا شباب. I can do it in the constructor, huh? See? I can. If you have it ready, provide it يعني to the constructor. This is I now have 2 constructors, right? I have 2 constructors now. If you have them ready, that's it. Let me make a toString now. بس toString ممكن تكون
Doctor,
source.
I have a question here.
Just a second. Generate toString. I will just output anything now. I'm using. Ayo, go ahead. Ask me your question.
So in the set team players, only the parameter available is an array. Can I make it like maybe he can also add maybe 5 names or at
Yeah,
least
yeah.
any name?
We'll do this in the. We'll do this in the test in the driver class.
Okay.
But if since it's an array, we cannot add one by one like this unless we know the position. That's why arrays are not nice when it comes to this. Array is not dynamic. طيب هلا أنا here I have get players, set players, get names, set name. Remember, my team has a name, and my team has what? 5 players. Now, why I did this, I need you to look at this class now. Team tester, I'll call it. Team tester. This team tester, I need to create a team. Team, okay, UU team equals a new team. And I will use the UU basketball. Only the first constructor because I still don't have the data for the array list. طيب, why I came here أنا هلا? I need now to fill the data for the players. ماشي? I know the team. Remember what I want you to know now. Team has an array list of array of what? Of players, right? ماشي الحال? If this is private, I cannot access it from outside. So I'll just make it now default. تمام? For the sake of the example, best simplicity. طيب. I'll go back to the team tester. Let us create a method يا شباب to fill the data. Usually يعني you make a method like fill data or add players. Add team players. This is very nice. Which team? UU team. So what are you going to do in the add here? I'm going to create a method in the tester. Public static void add team layers. Add team layers. And which teams I want? Layers. Which team? It's going to be team T. So here, add team players. What should it do يا شباب؟ يلا قولوا لي.
will add the string type. The name of the team.
Sorry. Add team players. What should I do in the add team players? I need to fill the players data. Remember, the players is a property of team. The players is a property of team. It's an array list. صح ولا لا؟ يعني it's a composition here inside the teams class. تمام؟ What is the name of the property here? Team players. For each player, what you need to do add? Oh, for each team player, I need to go to the player. For each player, I need to set the name and set what? The score. Does that make sense? For each player, I need to set the name and the score. تمام? Remember, the players is an array inside the team. And for each player, I need to set the name and the score. So يلا قولوا لي شو عمل. For okay. Of course you need a scanner here, صح? Scanner input equals new scanner, right? System.in. Else, what do we need now? Now you need to tell me about the loop now. For integer what? I is equal to 0. I is less than what? Yalla. I is less than team dot team players dot length. Do you agree with this now? I plus plus. You see this for loop. Because team players is an array inside the team class, right? So now I will go one by one here inside the loop. Now I can say ThisOut. Okay. Now I need to do this 5 times maybe. Enter player name. تمام. Now I can say string name equals what? Input dot next line. And how to set it now? How to set the value for the first player? Look at this يا شباب. Team dot team players I dot set name. Does that make sense? Yani first time it will set the name of players 0. Second time players 1, players 2, 3, 4, 5. I think the next thing I'm doing is going to be fine, right? And here now we have an integer score is going to be what? Next integer. In the set, can I put the scanner object? ما فهمت عبدو سؤالك. Next integer.
دكتور في السيت نيم وحضرتك حطيت الارجيومنت نيم ينفع نكتب دوت سيت نيم براكتس انبوت
يعني maybe
دوت نيكست لاين.
yeah, let's not see shortcuts are not always good. Okay, shortcuts are not always good. Maybe you can do it, okay? But if you cannot do it, it's a problem. تمام.
Okay.
Okay? Now let me make an input. I think I need to clear the input after that. Next line هيك شيء. Next line. Let me see if this is needed or not. هلا this method يا شباب will fill the team players of the team. صح ولا لا? Since its array is an object, no need to return it. No need to return it. تمام? Let's now just output the team. You know, we did a toString to the team. It needs a lot of work still بعدها. But at least we can now test it. Let's see if this one works. Enter player name. So now I am setting, if you look here, the team when for loop. Players 0. And the team player 0 is Isa. I have a null pointer exception. Why? Why?
Because you didn't add the player.
I don't know. Why? Tell me why. It's an object inside an array list. Did I say player 0? Did I initialize the player? When you add something to the array, you need to say, يعني, this is a new object. صح ولا لا? يعني now here, before you do anything, for each player, you can say, for each player here, you can say equals new player. تمام? Here, if I don't have constructor player, تمام. يعني, but I need at least, يعني, to provide it. And here I can do it, here. You must say new, here, here. Teams player I, new player name. And you cannot use any object without saying new. Player is an object. Now I say, once I get the name, I can say new player. Next, since it was set, يعني, you have a player object now, instance, you can set the remaining. But you cannot use anything without. If you have a default constructor, يعني, I made a mistake, I could have created a default constructor. If I have a default constructor here like this now, okay, no need to, for example, I can simplify it now. I can just come here and say, sorry. I can come here and say new player. Then once it's initialized here, team players I is equal to new player. And that's it. No need to do this complicated thing. I can go back and say team players I dot set name. يعني, this is one way of doing it. But the object, you must create the object before you start setting its parameters. What we try to do is we try to set the parameters before setting the object. Let us see if this is going to work now. Enter player name, Isa. I did not make a message to enter the score. Isa scored 10 points. Enter player name, Khalid. Khalid scored 20. Enter player name, Abdullah. Okay, Abdullah scored 9. Enter player name, Ahmed. Ahmed scored 30. Enter player name, Ziad. Ziad scored 0. Perfect. We have a team now, see? It was even printed, صح? يعني team, UU basketball, players, we filled it, صح ولا لا? We filled the team now, here. Of course, يعني, if you want to create the data manually, like set name equals Ziyad, set name without an input, you know how to do that. But now, we created a team players, or we created a fill data or add team players where we requested the user to input all the data. Remember, Bukhari, Isa is going to answer you why we did a next line. Isa, you can pay him later for. تمام? To clear the buffer once you finish one object. تمام? طيب. هلا now we have layers here. What we need to do here? We need another message, صح? Enter points. Chord. طيب. Okay. طيب. Let's go and do to the team. Can I ask, can I add a method like public, شوفوا يا شباب, you'll understand it. Public integer get total points. Get total points here. What is the value of get total points? Integer points equal to what? 0. وناو خلاص for what? Player T in the, what is the array name? Team players. Team players. Okay. What? خلينا نسميه points here, صح? Points. Points plus equal to what? P dot get score. To return point. Does that make sense now? ما في داعي. احنا جوا التيم يا شباب. We are inside the team class. We have the array of team players. Okay. And I just, no need to go to the array now. I just create a player enhanced for loop. يعني. So this one will give us total points. طيب. Can we do this to the to string also? We add the total points scored, and we can modify the toString by adding this. Can we output data now, for example? Okay, the example is becoming a good one. Let us say here, print report, UUT. Okay, what do you want in the report to print? I can play team name, player name, points scored. صح ولا لا? Right? So I usually need the same for, no need for the same for loop. So we'll make a nice output. We'll try to make a nice output. What is the method name? Is print report. Okay, let us see. I will use the ThisOut. This is very simple, yes. ThisOut team dot get name. تمام? This is the name. Then I need to loop. Okay. ThisOut again. ThisOut. I need to have like a player output and tab and score. تمام؟ بس هاي هي. Now I need to go inside in a loop. حتى اللوب can be enhanced loop for player شوفوا B. Where is the, طيب what is the array name? Team dot team players. So now, okay, so now here I have the team players one by one. مش فاهم عبدو, a bit of out of context, but it's interface the same method or has more functionality. I don't understand this. We can take comments after I finish this. Now I can say ThisOut b dot get name plus tab plus I will show you later how to do this inside the team. No need for this method. b.get score. بس خلاص. I think this is fine. يعني print report should work fine now. We will print the team name, then player score, then the name of the player and the score of each player. Let us run this. Okay. Let me out after that do something else. ThisOut total points scored. Okay. Plus equal team dot get total points. Tamam? Run. Let us see if this is gonna work fine. Hi, Bukhari. He scored 10 points. Ali scored 12 points. Yusuf scored 15 points. And Isa scored 5 points. Abdullah scored 12 points. وهلا عنا wait a second.
Doctor, you didn't print the method.
I did not call the method. بلا هي print report. Yeah, هيها here.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, here. This is the output. تمام. I need coffee badly, yeah. Oof. تمام. So we output the high. Can you tell me the player who scored the highest? Yes. Can you tell me the player who scored the lowest? Can you give me the average scores of the team players? ماشي. So this is one way of doing it. By the way, يعني أنا لو سألتوني زياد علي, I will not do it. Print report Q team in a loop here. No need to repeat the life. Life is too short to repeat the code. I can do this thing inside where? Inside the toString here. I can do all these things inside the toString. Does that make sense يا شباب؟ ماشي؟ شوفوا ها. We conclude لأنه I need coffee badly. I can say here string report report equals string dot format string team name وpercent capital S يعني I'll show you both أنا capital S وcapital percent N and here here the team name this dot get team get name. Now I need to make a loop for each player صح ولا لا? Before I can say report plus equal string dot format this team has percent D players. ليش بعمل هيك؟ ممكن number of players يكون variable. If the number of players is variable, okay, ممكن هلا نحوله نفس الكلاس same class to use it for a handball. طيب يلا players how to get the players count يلا بسرعة. Public integer get player count. يا شباب you can say I can get the array length وخلاص. Remember the user who is going to use this does not know these things. You're going to do it for him. You're going to make a nice method that gets player count and here you will return it. Return what? Team players dot length. وبس. بس احنا for the user the method name is what? Get player count. You understand these concepts now. Get player count. Okay. طيب يلا. Let me make a loop now. The loop I will go for each player. تمام. For player B from where? Which array? Team players. صح ولا لا؟ Team players. تمام. So what do you want me to do now? Report plus equal p dot get name plus p dot get score. Good. Now all the players بالأخير حتى I can say report plus equal total score plus what? This dot get ايش سميناها الميثود total points وبس. اوكي. وفاينلي return ايش عنا؟ report سمينا السترينج صح ولا لا؟ return report.
دكتور
yes.
كل اللي سويناه في التو سترينج نقدر نسويه فانكشن بس نحطه باس نسوي له باس في التو سترينج.
yeah of course yeah.
اوكي.
اقول لك شو اسمك اليوم انت؟ عيسى. ها private get report و you call the method from there. بس. Did I answer your question?
yes.
يعني تمام؟ اوكي. هلا انا I can go back to the team tester. No need to call the print report method. صح ولا لا؟ So when you do the thing inside the class, are you saving يعني time on the users? هلا انا in the beginning I had to create that print report صح ولا لا؟ right? But now no need يعني no need to. تمام. Let us see if this is gonna work. Let us see if this is gonna work. عيسى 10 يوسف 20 عبد الله 30 زياد 10 محمد 15. Okay. GU basketball. This team has 5 players. احنا شو نسينا نحط بس يا شباب؟ New line صح ولا لا؟ We forgot to add new line where? In the team. ماشي. Here 5 players percent n here صح؟ percent n. Here I can say here plus backslash n وبس. بس المفروض بس يعني. Okay. يعني this I can now make it quickly. One final test. A 10 B 20 C 30 D 40 E 50. Does that make sense? Team name Q basketball. This team has 5 players. 1 2 3 total score is that much. Does that make sense يا شباب? Is it a good example now? But I need to write the example. تمام. طيب I gave you 2 examples on second one is a good يعني because it's an array of an object inside another object. Does that make sense? You think it's big, Khalid? No, Khalid, this is يعني still Teletubbies انت. تمام؟ طيب I'll make a similar example أخرى كمان وبوست the recording هيك لحاله. Tomorrow Friday عندنا tutorial please. This is composition in an array. So I'll stop recording now. عندي lab بعد شوي. And what else? I need to, okay, I'll upload the recording, I'll upload the code, and I need to write the question. Isa Abu Jabal, you can go to the problem tests and build your own examples. Tamam? Isa, what you can make now, you can make the number of players in the team variable. يعني you can ask the user about how many players before you create the array. تمام? Or make it employees in a department. Does that make sense? And if you want to make it complicated, make the department as a member of the organization.